Let's bring in Republican Congressman from Missouri and House Oversight Member, Congressman Eric Burlison. Congressman, thanks for joining us tonight.
Great to be here, Jen.
So you heard some of your colleagues there appearing on Newsmax, a lot of outrage talking about how this is politically motivated. I want to start with that outrage and what Senator Rand Paul had to say there. I mean, if Donald Trump is indicted in relation to the alleged hush money payment to Stormy Daniels, would Alvin Bragg actually be the one committing a crime?
Yeah, this Alvin Bragg is really not even a public servant at this point. He is basically the hired hitman of George Soros. And he's carrying out what he was hired to do, and that is to take down one of the president of, or former president of the United States, and the leading candidate to be the next president of the United States. And we should be, as a nation, we should be really worried about this precedent. It's not only historically an awful, awful moment in history, but think about what message we're sending to other world leaders, that all it takes is to hire the right or get the right person elected in the right spot to take down the highest public figure in the land.
That's such a great point. And, we read some of Alvin Bragg's statement that his office put out today. But he went on to try and silence critics who say that, Bragg should be focusing on crime in New York City and not Donald Trump, and something that happened 7 years ago. The Bragg's office noted that, things like homicides are down 32% so far this year. But is 32% good enough? I mean, does that give him license to go after Trump in something that a lot of people say is a political persecution?
He can throw all the numbers out that he wants to, but here's the facts. This is a guy who has de-escalated 50+% of the felony charges in his area down to misdemeanors. While at the same time, he is actually trying to use mental gymnastics or judicial gymnastics to convert a misdemeanor that really doesn't even apply to the president into some form of felony charge. So that is exactly what's happening here. He is picking and choosing the people that he wants to throw the book at. And in this case, he is, at the end of the day, a hired hitman by George Soros.
And, Congressman, some of your colleagues also pointing to the fact that this is really a distraction right now. There's been a lot going on in this country, both from the White House, the banking crisis, the border, you name it, but also some of the work your colleagues have been doing in investigating the situation with the Biden family and the money trail. You have Hunter Biden's bank statements. We saw the payments from the CCP to members of the Biden family. Andy Biggs was on this network talking about that, as was, James Comer, chair of the House Oversight Committee, saying, this is a big distraction from something that's very important right now that needs to be investigated. Your thoughts on that, kind of being pushed to the side as everybody focuses on Trump?
Yeah, it's ironic. We have probably the biggest scandal breaking in modern history, where you literally have potentially the Biden family accepting millions of dollars from a foreign actor, right? And that is not what we're talking about. So this should be on the front page of every news, from print media to network and cable, but it's not. Instead, this just so happens to be the week that this story about the president breaks, about President Trump. And I think that it's, at the end of the day, it's all coordinated. They're trying to distract from the real story of the day, which is that the Biden family accepted millions of dollars that was funneled from Chinese foreign actors.